Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. Got another cool product for you folks, and I didn't spend a lot of time with this. I did hook it up, try it on my phone, and wanted to do the video review. So a lot of times want me to spend tons of time trying to figure out how to use something, but I like to do a review right after I took it out of the box for the first time, barely read any of the manual, just because I think that it gives people a good idea of how difficult something is to use. So the product we're going to be talking about today is the Xbotgo. They reached out about a week ago and wanted to collaborate on one of their, they call it like a sports gimbal. And so I'm not really, I'm not really great at filming content, right? I kind of do what I do. I do it a very informal way, tripod and a camera. And so with these, I'm not really one to do a lot of vlogs, right? I do some live feeds, but for me, I'm not really one to walk around filming myself. There are people out there who I swear to God, it makes me shake my head, the things people post on Instagram. It's like they're trying to relay a message about a business and all they do is flip their hair and put on makeup. It just doesn't make any sense. So I'm kind of I'm not very vain. So for me to walk around filming myself, I just don't know if I'm really going to use this. But I wanted to share with you guys because it is kind of an innovative product. And again, it is a gimbal. So my understanding of a gimbal is to be able to record something with smooth tracking. I guess I always kind of had this idea that with a gimbal, it's kind of weighted. And so as you're filming, the camera is staying, I guess, it's being pulled down with gravity, right? And so there's a weight in it. And as you move around, the camera stays level, it doesn't tip back and forth. This is more of a motorized arm. Now, maybe I have a setting set up wrong, and that's why I just wanted to do this right off the bat and just share it. I encourage you to look into it if you're in the market for something like this, but this main device, its main reason for owning this is that it has, I guess it's an AI sports tracking. So let me just unbox it and show you what you get here. So you get the instruction manual. Again, didn't really read a lot about this, just a few basic stuff. You get a travel bag, which is pretty small. I guess it will fit the device though, but it's cool to give you a travel bag. We get a remote control. Okay. We get a sort of very kind of an add-on mini tripod. I'll show you how that works in a second. A USB-C charging cable, a wrist strap, and of course the gimbal. So this basically, when you lock this in place, it does have this little notch here. And so when you're going to store this, you'll basically just fold this down and line up the notch, and it keeps it from kind of flopping around. So, I don't know. It doesn't seem to really stop the entire device from flopping around. It seems like it has a notch here, but I'm just not seeing how you would stop the entire thing. There's a notch, prevent the upper arm. It just locks in. Oh, there it goes. I just wasn't pushing far enough. So it's kind of cool. So it's not flopping around. You put it in the bag. It's not, again, flopping around. So when we open it up, though, this is what you're getting. And so for purposes of this video, I'm not going to use my phone because my phone is a 7-inch screen. It's rather large. And I don't think they really took into consideration somebody using a really large phone on this. When I do put my phone in here, it does kind of, you can still use it, don't get me wrong, but you kind of have, there's not a lot of clearance on this. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn this on here. And you just press and hold the power button right here. And so it comes alive, and you'll see, hopefully you saw, it kind of moved into place. There's an arrow showing you for the direction of where you put the phone. And so I'm just going to use just an older phone just for demonstration purposes, which is a little bit smaller, not by much, but just to lock it into place here. What they want you to do is have the camera facing the arrow. And so you generally have to put it centered. Some of these, I guess, that kind of locks into place pretty good. So now the camera is locked into the gimbal. And so I guess when I use this just without any kind of motion, well, I guess, and bear with me, I'm going to try my best to try to describe this. So as you're filming, I mean, if you're familiar with a gimbal, I think most people are, the idea is you can kind of move it around and it will sort of not flop around, right? I guess that's the best way to describe it. There is a button on the front here, kind of a cursor, and you can actually articulate the camera up or down, left and right, which I'm not really, to be honest with you, I'm not really sure why you'd want to do that. I just don't know if you're filming and you're moving around a lot. I think you have to kind of get used to having the coordination to be able to kind of tip this how you want it. I find it kind of difficult, to be honest with you, to get this to line up perfectly. So I'm just going to kind of put it back in position. There's a trigger on the front. I believe this is for like taking a photo. Then, of course, you have panoramic and landscape mode. And when I press this, yeah, see, when I press it, no, I'm sorry, that's not the button. Here, I press it, panoramic and landscape. So it flips the phone automatically, which is kind of cool. Then we have a couple mode buttons here, and I'm not sure how you interact with those. When you actually, and then we have a zoom button on the side here. So what this, you're basically, this is probably a poor representation here. Let me just pop this out of here for a second. And when you actually go to like take this out, it keeps flopping around. It's kind of strange. I guess you maybe should turn it off before you do that. Let me just turn it off for a second. All right, so now the device is off. So I'm going to put my phone in it and just kind of demonstrate. You know, my phone is pretty large. And I'll show you guys. They do recommend not using a case with this, but I don't want to take my case off every time I want to use this. So I'm going to turn it back on. All right, so it puts the phone automatically in landscape mode. Not landscape mode, portrait mode. So I'm going to flip it. So see, as I go to flip it, my phone is too large. It hits the side. So you kind of have to tip it, I guess, a little bit. Flip it again. So if you tip the bottom out before you flip it, that works. And so what you normally do is you will turn on, and I'm just going to go into my phone settings here. It's just a little bit difficult to kind of navigate. I don't know, maybe they're all like this. I'm just going to take this out of here again. Let me turn on their app. And so what you want to do is download the the hell is it called? The Xbotgo app. And this will automatically connect to your phone through Bluetooth. Let me put this back in here. It's just kind of, I guess, kind of difficult to get used to. It's not something that I think right out of the box is super user friendly. And again, maybe they're all like this. I'm not trying to knock the product in any way. So I got my phone back in here, and I'm going to go into record mode. And it's going to ask me if I want to do soccer, basketball, football, ice hockey, tennis, handball, or pickleball. So these are, I guess, the AI motion detection settings, right? So again, I'm learning as we go here. So what you'll do is if you're going to watch one of these sports, you would basically prop this up on a tripod, select the sport that you're actually wanting to film, and this has the, I guess, the AI software that allows it to actually track the ball or track specific players. So for my purpose, I'm just going to put it on follow me, because that's really the one that I would mainly be using. Because I don't have any way of testing this. There's no sports game going on here. So I'm going to put start recording. I'm going to flip the camera into landscape mode. And it shows here on the screen, you have to kind of take my word for it. It says tap the person's frame to lock and then tap the close button to unlock. So it's giving you the instruction, and it says here raise your hand to lock and then repeat to unlock. So I'm going to flip the camera back on me. And for this purpose, I'm going to go ahead and put the tripod adapter on here. It's kind of nice they gave you that. You could put it on a larger tripod. This is a little bit unstable when you start getting a phone of this weight. And so, again, I know you guys can't see this, but I'm going to raise my hand. And so it started recording. However, it didn't actually flag my face. It just showed a box. Let me double press. So the instructions state that you can double tap or you can tap the face of the box around the person. And it doesn't seem to do anything. It just kind of locked. When I use the zoom button, I press that back and forth. It doesn't actually do anything. It doesn't zoom. Let me try to get back a little bit. So raising my hand, I'm going to hit stop recording. I'm going to raise my hand again. So, okay, so that time it actually locked on my face. And it is filming me. It is, what it's doing here is actually kind of tracking my face. And now see, that time it lost the tracking. So Yeah, so while I was, again, I'll kind of show you guys what I'm looking at here. So while I was trying to record myself, this is what I'm seeing. You have this blue box that pops up, and then it starts to track your face. However, as I started moving a little bit more, it just totally lost track, and it like froze that box. So let me try to get it to react again. All right, so when I go back a little bit, there it goes. So pick me up. So it seems like this device doesn't really like to do tracking up close. And even at this distance, when I move around, it is definitely kind of jittery. Although if you're trying to film yourself walking around, like review something in your house, then I think this would work. But when you're getting into this distance, it seems like it just doesn't want to, like if I get a little bit closer, yeah, so when I get a little bit closer, it loses the ability to track the face. I don't know if it's just too close. Yeah, so once I get within about 1.5 feet from the actual camera, it loses the tracking ability. So I have to get back again. And see, even now, it's not actually, it just shows a blue box. So it's not actually picking me up. Let me try again. All right, so I have to kind of re-angle the phone so it's almost like straight on. Does that make sense? It did stop recording, and then it started recording again, but then here's the blue box again where it's not actually tracking me anymore. So it's almost like you have to get far enough back. All right, so I think you guys can kind of see my point. I don't think the face tracking software works really all that well if you're going to be doing any kind of like product reviews or you're in front of the camera, kind of like how I do reviews. Now, as far as the sports mode, I did find that the tracking software on a face seemed to work better at a distance, but I don't know how well that would work if you were filming like a sports game. You know, if you're, most of the time if you're filming a sports game, right, you might be on the sideline or you might be in the stands as well. I'm just trying to figure how I would, like if I had a kid or something like that playing soccer and I put it on soccer mode, I think in soccer mode the AI is going to detect, try to follow a soccer ball. You can also set this to recognize a number, I guess, on a jersey. I don't know how well that works. Again, I'm not going to go to a game and put this to the test. For my purposes, and the reason I agreed to do this video was because I was hoping to use this for something like, you know, if I'm going to do a product review in my house and have this kind of track me, walk around with me or kind of follow me. I will, again, try this, but I just feel like right now the distance seems to be kind of a problem. If you're too close to it, it loses the ability to track your face, which is really kind of odd to me how that happens, right? I didn't sign up for generally with the app, you can use it without actually signing up with your email address. I will do that, but I didn't do it today because I just don't see what I'm going to gain from doing that. All right, so let me just give you guys, again, I'm trying to give you guys a really simple kind of real quick kind of unboxing here, because most people when they're going to buy something, I understand a lot of things you have to kind of educate yourself on. I get it. But for instance, with my Sony camcorder I just got, I took it out of the box, put the card in it, charged it, and we're up and running with basic skill set, right? Without having to read about how to use it. With something like this, I guess I just expected it to sort of work right out of the box. When I pick it up and just kind of follow myself around, what I'm noticing is that as I move this around me, it's not going to track me properly if you're using the face tracking software. It does keep it relatively smooth, but what I'm doing in order to keep myself in the frame, I actually have to kind of tip this around and down to keep me here. It is smooth as you're moving it around. It does keep it level. And you do have the thumb button where you can kind of tip this and kind of adjust it. But I kind of picture myself walking around with this and just having a difficult time lining it up. Another thing I don't really like about it is that, and maybe this is a setting, I'm not sure, but when you press the cursor up and down, or I'm calling it a cursor, right? You press down and it moves it up. And to me, I understand it's kind of like how an airplane works, right? If you pull down, you pull the stick back, you bring the plane up. But that doesn't make any sense on a phone. Like, I want this to basically be moving in the direction I want it to move. Now, that might just be a personal preference. Maybe other people prefer it like this, but I don't like it. Left and right, if you want to go left or right, that's the direction you push. Why they did the up and down flipped is beyond me. Now, again, maybe there is a setting on here. Now, when I press the camera button, all that does is bring up volume. It doesn't actually take a picture. So, I'm not really sure on that. I guess I expected this to be in camera mode. And remember, we're actually in the mode that, like, you're not using your own camera software with this. You're using the app that is designed to be used with this. And if I just go ahead, let me just go back to hit home button. Yeah, so you have the option to look at local files, instruction manual, manage in my settings. But if I want to go to settings, I have to actually sign up, which is kind of annoying. I just want to kind of get up and running without signing up. I will sign up, of course, but maybe that'll allow you to change some of the settings. But so far, like directly out of the box, I don't think it's the easiest thing to use. Now, maybe this is just the way gimbals work, but I'm just not really 100% sure. There's a lot of buttons on here, like mode button. When I press the mode button, it doesn't seem to do anything. I can articulate it. I can move it around. When I use the zoom button up and down, it doesn't, wide or telephoto, it doesn't do anything with zoom. Mode button doesn't do anything. If I press and hold mode button, doesn't do anything. Yeah, so really the only button that I can really see on here that does anything is going to be your flip, right? Which is going to take you to landscape or portrait. Sorry, I know you guys can't see me. Landscape or portrait. And of course, the ability to articulate the camera around. I don't know. I'm just not really sure what to think of this device, to be honest with you. I guess I'm just not really too familiar with the purpose of a gimbal. I guess my own like novice experience on why you use a gimbal is if you're going to be walking around talking to yourself, it kind of keeps the camera smoothly kind of moving. I don't know. So that's honestly, I kind of feel bad that I can't really give you guys a more in-depth review on how this works. The remote control, of course, allows you to, let me turn this sucker on. I'm going to give the remote a test. Remote's pretty cool. It's got a lot of like backlights and a lot of, red and blue. It's kind of lost here. So when I press this, let me go back to the remote button here. It's connected. And let me go to record. Motion tracking. Follow me. All right. So I would expect, all right, so when I hit the play button on here, it does start recording. I press it again, it stops recording. But when I go ahead and hit all the other buttons, let me try this one here. Take a picture. So I actually cycled through from camcorder to the camera icon here, and that allows me to, when I press the button, it pops up, it says take a picture. But when I press it, it doesn't actually like take the picture. Let me cycle through here and see what this one does. Alright, so very confusing. So when I put this function in, it looks just like a couple arrows up and to the side. It allows me to move the camera around. Let me try to go back this way. I know you guys aren't seeing this, but actually let me try to do it like from this angle here. So I'm going to press, alright, so that's allowing me to rotate the camera. And then let me press, so not really sure. So I guess you really just have to kind of play with this. Let me just read you folks a little bit of information about it. So what they stayed on, and you can see obviously I'm having a hard time kind of getting this to work properly, right? I think with practice, you probably would have a better time with it, but it just says here, hands-free recording of team sports. Remember, the main purpose of this device is to record sports without you actually having a lot of involvement, right? So this is here, the Xbot AI Sports Gimbal is a versatile tool designed to effortlessly capture and live stream sporting events like soccer, basketball, football, etc. Hands-free recording of team sports, user-friendly app. See, I don't agree that the app is very user-friendly. Advanced auto tracking, utilize pose and motion tracking technology. So we're not really going to be able to put that to the test because I'm not going to go and find the game to test it. It says here, superior image stabilization for clear, uninterrupted footage. So far, I have a hard time, figuring out how to actually use this without actually having to involve tipping this in the direction I want it to go. But I guess if you're going to record something and you're going to kind of do it slow, I just kind of find this to be kind of useless. If I am going to be recording something, right, and I want to get up close to something, I'm going to articulate this. First, get it in the right direction. So let me put it in the other mode here. See, it doesn't even want to flip. All right, so if I'm in landscape mode and I'm going to say record something on the desk here, I can kind of articulate this, but as I try to articulate it, like it's very sensitive. When I press the up or down button, it moves what I would consider too quick. Now at a distance, it's not as bad. You don't notice it as much, but I don't know, man. I wish I could give this like an amazing review, but I'm just not seeing that this is super user friendly. All right, so let me just go into a little bit more about what it says here. It says advanced auto tracking, compact foldable design, for easy portability. Yeah, I do think it's pretty easy to fold up. That's kind of cool, and put it in the bag. It says no subscription or hidden fees. Compatible with iOS and Android, both available on the Play Store or the App Store. And it says here recommended accessories, the T1 tripod. These are things that they sell. You can get as a package, and a compatible remote control. It says here AI patent technology says provides pro-level recording, capture your moments, stay ahead of the game, you focus, and then you can edit with AI-powered editing right in the app. Follow me tracking, so easy gesture, long distance tracking, 3 times auto zoom in and out, and number identification tracking. So the gesture recognition is when you hold up your hand, and it's supposed to know that, hey, I want to be tracked. But I found that to be somewhat it wasn't really super consistent at when it actually picked me up or not. And distance did play kind of a role in that. It says versatile application. It says they have a couple different beta sports, whereas right now the only ones that are not in beta are soccer, basketball, golf, and hockey. The other one like fencing, fencing, tennis, dancing maybe. I don't know if this is like wheelchair soccer or soccer for disabled folks. They have kind of like a wheelchair to soccer ball. It says your AI-powered gimbal will capture 20 plus sports tracking, bring every tackle pass. So I didn't really see those on the app. Again, as far as the accessories, the gimbal, the remote, the tripod, the Type-C connector, the instruction manual strap, and the pouch. I'm not going to get involved in all the the working time. It does say up to 4 hours you can run this off a full charge, but I don't know. I'm just a little bit disappointed. I guess I kind of expected this to be something very easy to use, and I just don't know why I would use this. If I was, I guess I try to picture myself photographing something like walking around, and just to demonstrate, and again, really informal here, just to demonstrate as I'm walking around, like this is kind of articulating by itself. So as I move this way, it's trying to like figure out what I'm actually filming. And then when I go up here, I have to actually tip this down. I don't know. I just kind of feel like this is just kind of difficult to use. Anyway, that's my review on this. I think that if you are willing to, I hate to say this, but if you are looking to use this for vlogging, I don't know if this is your best option. I think if you are looking for something that's going to track folks on a field or record sports, which again, in its defense, is what this mainly is used for. It's meant to track folks on a field. I think this might be a good option for you. But for my purposes, just kind of like wanting to maybe do a vlog of myself, it's easier for me just to hold the camera or leave the camera sitting on a tripod. I just don't see this is going to really offer me any kind of real advantage as a YouTuber or as a product reviewer. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any pointers, by all means, drop me a comment, drop me an email. Before I close in the video, I'm just going to turn this off. And there it goes, flips around. I'm going to turn this off and just kind of put my phone out of the way here and just show you, a little bit more of what it looks like. The design's nice. It's comfortable to hold. I don't know. I don't know if any of these would be uncomfortable, but just disappointing that, the trigger button here for taking a picture, I guess I just would have expected in the app that even if you're recording video, that you can quickly press that and capture images, and it didn't seem to want to do that. Cool they give you the tripod. Cool that it is tapped for any tripod you want to use. This is kind of a little bit lightweight, but it'll serve the purpose of putting it on a table. You can see the buttons on here. And then if you do turn off the device, you're going to have the app beeping at you saying, hey, close me. I don't know. I'm just kind of I'm normally not lost for words when it comes to doing a product review, but I guess I just don't really, yeah. I mean, like I said, overall, the quality is pretty cool. Like, it seems like I don't have a lot of experience with gimbals, so I don't really know what other products are on the market, but it would have been nice, honestly, if this had the ability to be used with a camera. That's was kind of disappointing when they reached out. I thought maybe you could put a camera on this instead of. It would have been nice if they would have made this like maybe an adapter plate where you could put a camera on it, and maybe you can buy something like that where it can hold the camera. But I don't know. Again, it comes back to how am I going to use this, and I just feel like. I guess I always thought when you're using a gimbal, as you move it around, it's just keeping the camera level. So you can move it around you, the camera's not going to be flopping all over, but maybe I just don't have a very good understanding of how to use this. But anyway, I mean, I can't really knock the device any more than I already have. It seems of nice quality, it seems well made, but again, maybe logging in and signing up for the product will allow you to change some of the features on this, like the ability to change that button and how that works. But for now, check it out. I don't know if you have any questions. I'll try to answer them. But for now, this is the best I can give you. Have a nice day.